If you're over 60 and feeling tired all the time, let me ask you something simple but powerful. What if it's not just aging? What if your fatigue isn't normal at all? What if there's a hidden, overlooked reason behind that constant lack of energy? And what if the real solution has nothing to do with getting more sleep, but everything to do with what's missing from your plate? Today, you're going to find out. And by the end of this, you'll not only understand why your body might be begging for help, but exactly how to give it what it needs. So before we go any further, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. This way, you won't miss any content that helps you take control of your health, feel younger, and live better, longer. Let's start with a question that might change how you see your body from this point on. If you always feel tired, what exactly is your body running low on? Is it sleep? Maybe. But if you're sleeping through the night and still waking up exhausted, the problem lies deeper. Because fatigue isn't just a sign of being worn out, it's a message. It's your body's way of saying, hey, something's missing. And here's the twist. What's missing might not be obvious. You might be eating 3 full meals a day. You might even think you're eating healthy. But here's what most people don't realize. Nutritional deficiencies can sneak up on you slowly, and the older we get, the easier it becomes for these deficiencies to set in, even with a decent diet. Why? Because our bodies don't absorb nutrients the way they used to. Enzyme production slows down, stomach acid declines, and certain medications interfere with absorption even more. Now, imagine this. You're going about your day, dragging your feet, struggling to focus, dealing with muscle weakness or mood swings, and the whole time, your cells are starving for something basic, something your body absolutely needs to function, but isn't getting enough of. And that's exactly what's happening to millions of adults over 60. Fatigue isn't always about doing too much. Sometimes, it's about not having enough of what your body depends on to keep going. One of the biggest culprits? Vitamin B12. It's like the spark plug for your cells, especially for energy production and nerve function. But here's the kicker. After 60, your body's ability to absorb B12 from food drops dramatically. Even if you're eating meat, fish, eggs, or dairy, you might still be deficient, because absorption depends on something called intrinsic factor, a protein made in your stomach, and most people over 60 don't produce enough of it. Some medications like antacids or metformin make it even worse. And what happens when B12 runs low? You feel tired? Yes, but not just sleepy tired. We're talking deep, heavy fatigue, the kind where your limbs feel like weights. You might get brain fog, tingling in your hands or feet, even mood changes that feel like depression. And the scary part is that B12 deficiency can sneak up without you noticing. The body stores B12, so symptoms can take years to appear. But once they do, they can mimic signs of serious neurological disease. So here's a question. When was the last time you had your B12 levels checked? And if you're taking a supplement, is it the kind your body can actually use? Because not all B12 is created equal. The most bioavailable forms, like methylcobalamin, are what your cells are looking for. And if you're relying on fortified cereals or general multivitamins, you might not be getting nearly enough. But let's zoom out, because B12 is just one piece of this puzzle. And here's where things get even more interesting. Let me ask, have you been experiencing more frequent muscle cramps, feeling weak even after simple tasks? Or maybe your heart skips a beat now and then. That might sound like a heart issue or something to do with circulation, but very often it's related to magnesium. Now, magnesium doesn't get nearly the attention it deserves, yet it's involved in over 300 biochemical reactions in the body. It plays a huge role in nerve function, muscle contraction, and, yes, energy metabolism. And you might be shocked to learn this. Over 60% of adults are magnesium deficient, especially those over 60, even with a relatively healthy diet. Why? Because soil quality has declined, magnesium is stripped during food processing, and again, our absorption just isn't what it used to be. Add in a few common meds like diuretics or proton pump inhibitors, and you're facing an uphill battle. What's really alarming is how magnesium deficiency shows up. Muscle weakness, fatigue, irregular heartbeat, poor sleep, and even anxiety. Symptoms that so many seniors think are just part of getting older, but they're not. They're signs, warnings. And the good news is, when you correct magnesium deficiency, you often see dramatic improvements in energy, sleep quality, and even mental clarity. But let me ask, what if there's something even more basic that we're all missing? Iron. Yes, Iron, especially in women over 60 and men with chronic health issues. Iron deficiency is one of the most common causes of fatigue worldwide. And here's what most people get wrong. You don't need to be anemic to feel the effects. Even mild iron deficiency without anemia can leave you feeling drained, foggy, and short of breath. Iron is essential for carrying oxygen in your blood. When your levels drop, your muscles, your brain, and your heart literally get less oxygen. You can eat, sleep, and rest all you want. But if your blood isn't transporting enough oxygen, fatigue becomes your new normal. And it's not always as easy as eating a steak. Many seniors have absorption issues, again, due to medications, low stomach acid, or chronic inflammation, and some don't tolerate iron supplements well, leading to constipation or stomach upset. But there are smarter ways to approach it, like using iron-rich foods alongside vitamin C, which enhances absorption, or choosing gentler iron supplements designed for sensitive stomachs. Now, I want you to think about this. If your cells were getting everything they needed, oxygen, fuel, micronutrients, how different would you feel? How much sharper, stronger, and more motivated would you be? And let's not forget a silent, often ignored deficiency that affects mood just as much as energy: vitamin D. You probably know vitamin D is important for bones, right? But what most people don't realize is that it also plays a major role in regulating energy levels, immune function, and even emotional stability. And yet, nearly 80% of adults over 60 are low in it. Why? Because as we age, our skin becomes less efficient at converting sunlight into vitamin D. And let's be honest, how many hours do you spend outside in the middle of the day with your arms and legs exposed? Sunscreen, long sleeves, indoor living, it all adds up. Plus, vitamin D-rich foods are relatively rare. Fatty fish, egg yolks, liver, most people aren't eating enough of them. And when D runs low, the results show up in your mood and your muscles. Chronic fatigue, weakness, aches, increased risk of falls, even depression-like symptoms. The solution? Simple. Safe sun exposure, a high-quality D3 supplement, and checking your levels regularly. Because this is one deficiency you can absolutely fix and feel the difference quickly. Now, if you've made it this far, you're probably wondering, what else could be stealing your energy without you knowing? The last one we'll talk about here might surprise you: potassium. It's one of those nutrients that flies under the radar, but it's absolutely essential for keeping your cells charged and your muscles functioning properly. Low potassium can cause fatigue, weakness, and even heart rhythm problems. And guess what? Most Americans don't get nearly enough, especially seniors. Not because of a lack of food necessarily, but because of high sodium intake, certain blood pressure medications, and again, impaired absorption. It's ironic, isn't it, that while many people are focused on cutting calories or trying the latest diet trend, they're missing the most critical part: what your body actually needs to feel alive, to function, to thrive. And if you're over 60, the odds are stacked even higher against you. But here's the great part. This isn't about magic pills. It's not about fancy protocols or extreme diets. It's about recognizing what your body is asking for and giving it the simple, powerful nutrients it's been missing: B12, magnesium, iron, vitamin D, potassium. Now here's a question for you. Which of these 5 do you think you're missing most? And more importantly, what will you do about it? If you're over 50 and your joints ache when you get out of bed, go upstairs or just try to enjoy a walk. It's not your age and it's not your fault. The real issue? Your body's running out of a natural substance that cushions your joints like a shock absorber. And most supplements out there, glucosamine, collagen, all of it, don't fix this. But now, researchers have discovered a breakthrough that can actually restore what your joints are missing, and people in their 60s, 70s, even 80s are seeing real relief. If you're feeling stiff, sore, or weaker lately, stop guessing. Check the link in the pinned comment now. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning and feeling different. Your energy is steady, your brain is clear, your body moves without protest. There's no heaviness, no mental fog, no lingering exhaustion dragging behind every step. That version of you isn't a fantasy, it's a possibility. And the path to it starts by correcting something that might be quietly draining you every single day. We've already uncovered some of the most common overlooked deficiencies stealing energy from people over 60: B12, magnesium, iron, vitamin D, potassium. But we're not done, because here's the truth. Fixing fatigue means going deeper. And the next piece of this puzzle, it's something almost no one talks about. Yet it touches everything from your metabolism to your immune system to your sleep quality. We're talking about omega-3 fatty acids. Now, you've probably heard of them in the context of heart health, and yes, they're crucial for that. But the real reason omega-3s matter so much, especially as we age, is because they help reduce systemic inflammation. And here's the link most people miss. When your body is inflamed, it has to divert energy to deal with that constant internal fire. That means less energy for you, less energy for your muscles, less for your brain, less for daily life. And it doesn't stop there. Low omega-3 levels are also tied to memory decline, mood disorders, joint stiffness, and even eye health. That means if you're feeling tired, achy, moody, forgetful, or like your body just isn't bouncing back the way it used to, it might not be aging. It might be inflammation, fueled by a lack of omega-3s, and the solution doesn't have to be complicated. Wild-caught salmon, sardines, flax seeds, chia, walnuts, and for many a high-quality fish oil supplement can start turning things around. But here's where things get even more powerful. Because fixing deficiencies isn't just about adding what's missing, it's also about removing what's interfering. Let me ask you something. Are you on any medications? Statins, metformin, diuretics, antacids, maybe a few others? Did you know that many of the most commonly prescribed medications for seniors can actually cause or worsen nutritional deficiencies? Let's take statins, for example. They're designed to lower cholesterol, but they also reduce your body's production of coenzyme Q10, or CoQ10, a compound that's absolutely vital for energy production in your cells. Without it, your mitochondria, the powerhouses of your cells, struggle to do their job. And what's the result? You guessed it: fatigue, muscle pain, brain fog, and yet this isn't widely discussed. Many doctors never mention the need to supplement CoQ10 alongside statins, even though it could make all the difference in how you feel day to day. And it's not just statins. Metformin, often prescribed for type 2 diabetes, interferes with B12 absorption. Diuretics, commonly used for high blood pressure, flush out potassium and magnesium. Proton pump inhibitors, taken for heartburn, reduce stomach acid, leading to lower absorption of iron, calcium, and more. You see the pattern? Now, this doesn't mean you should stop your medications. That's something only your doctor can advise. But it does mean that understanding the side effects can help you correct the imbalances they cause. And once you do that, the fog starts to lift. Your energy begins to return. You remember what it feels like to feel alive. So let's go back to something we mentioned earlier: B12, magnesium, iron, D, potassium, omega-3s, CoQ10. That's already 7 key areas where things can go off track. But here's the twist that brings it all together. Your body doesn't experience these deficiencies in isolation. They compound. One leads to another. Low magnesium can worsen insulin resistance, which makes iron absorption harder. Low vitamin D weakens muscles, which reduces physical activity, which slows your metabolism and worsens fatigue. It's a cycle, but when you break it, when you start repleting even just one of these areas, the dominoes begin to fall in the right direction. Here's an example. Let's say you start taking vitamin D. Within weeks, your sleep improves. You feel more rested. That gives you more energy to go for a walk, which improves circulation and mood. Better mood means lower cortisol, which helps magnesium stay in your system longer. Now you're sleeping deeper, thinking clearer, moving more, and maybe now you're ready to make a better food choice, not out of willpower, but because your body is no longer screaming for quick fixes. This is the cascade effect of nutritional restoration, and it works. But we haven't talked about one last piece, something that might be at the root of all of it: your gut. Think about this. You could be eating the best diet in the world, organic vegetables, lean protein, clean supplements. But if your gut isn't absorbing those nutrients, what's the point? As we age, our gut lining becomes more fragile. We produce less stomach acid. Our microbiome, the community of good bacteria in the digestive tract, shifts, often not for the better. And guess what that leads to? Poor digestion, reduced absorption, and, you guessed it again, nutritional deficiencies. So if you're always tired and nothing seems to help, maybe the real issue isn't what you're eating, it's what you're absorbing. or rather, not absorbing. Now here's the exciting part. You can support your gut at any age, and it doesn't require anything extreme. A few smart changes, adding fermented foods like kefir, sauerkraut, or yogurt, reducing processed foods, getting plenty of fiber, staying hydrated. Even something as simple as chewing more thoroughly can help your digestive system do its job better. And when it does, everything else works better too. Energy, immunity, mood, everything. So if you've been living in a fog, if the idea of walking around the block feels like a chore, if your motivation feels buried under 100 invisible pounds of exhaustion, this is your wake-up call. It's not in your head, and it's not just age. It's biology, it's chemistry, it's nutrition, and you have more control over it than you think. Your body isn't giving up on you. It's just asking for help in the only way it knows how, through signals, through symptoms, through fatigue. And now that you know what those signals really mean, you can finally answer them the right way, not with another nap, not with another coffee, but with the nutrients that restore your vitality from the inside out. So here's what I want you to do. Today, not tomorrow. Think back over the symptoms we talked about, the ones you've been feeling. Pick just one. Maybe it's the low energy or the muscle cramps or the mood swings. Then ask yourself, could this be connected to something I'm missing? And if the answer is even maybe, then take the next step. Get tested, talk to your doctor, or simply start adding nutrient-rich, unprocessed foods to your plate. You don't need to overhaul your life overnight. You just need to begin. Because the truth is, tired isn't a life sentence. It's a clue, and now you've got the map. So if this helped you connect the dots, you're going to love what's coming next. Go ahead. Watch the next video on screen now. It'll take everything you just learned and show you how to put it into action starting today.